everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley, and today, y'all, I finally have in my little hands the newest collection from Unearthly Cosmetics, the Dreamer collection. Now this actually I purchased back in November, but there is always a pretty substantial lead time when purchasing from Unearthly, so just be aware of that. This took longer than is typical with what I've purchased in the past. But seriously, the wait is well worth it because the quality of these products has always, in my experience, been absolutely fantastic. So the first thing you get is this stunning box. Every collection that I've purchased from Unearthly has come in a really nice box, although this one is easily my favorite. Look at that artwork. It is absolutely beautiful. Same image on the back. And then it is really high quality. I always keep these boxes. And then inside you have the little foam inserts. And then here is the collection itself. It comes with an eyeshadow palette, a highlighter palette, and 4 lipsticks. So I am very excited to get this on my face. But before we go ahead and zoom in, if this is your first time hanging out with me, welcome. I am so excited you are here. And if you are coming on back, I am so thrilled that you have decided to do so. It always makes my day. If you enjoy this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. But enough of all of that YouTube business. Let's go ahead and zoom in and break this baby out. All right, so first things first, we are gonna go in with the eyes. This is what the outer packaging for the eyeshadow palette looks like. And then the actual palette inside has, again, the same absolutely scrumptious artwork. But then inside is just so freaking pretty. We've got a combination of really cool toned grays and purples on this side, some really bright pinks moving into some warmer types of neutral shades here. And I think that this is just such a fun color story that is very appropriate for both winter and then going into February for Valentine's Day. I feel like this is going to be a very useful palette this time of year, so I'm very excited to have it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick to these cooler shades over here, these grays and deep purples, and sort of build a look here, only because I'm not exactly sure what to expect from the lipsticks, and I just want to give myself a little bit more of a neutral base, just, you know, to give myself the most options. It's all one collection, so it's all going to go together really well, I'm sure, but like I said, just give myself options. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the shade Clouded, which is this matte grayish kind of periwinkle gray over in the corner here. I have already gone ahead and primed my lids, and I really enjoy, again, the Unearthly Cosmetics formula. I feel like their mattes are really easy to work with, which is so nice, especially since they do have a good amount of pigmentation to them, and they're typically in some unexpected colors. I think having a really nice formula allows them to be a lot more approachable, because there's nothing more intimidating than picking up a matte and then having it like stamp down and become, you know, really unmovable. And then being like, well, now what am I supposed to do? And I find that that is not typically the case with the mattes from Unearthly that at least I have tried. I want to say this is either my 3rd or 4th purchase from them. I've got 2 other big boxes in my office here from previous collections, but I can't recall if I've purchased some individual stuff from them before as well. My memory just isn't what it used to be, which is a little unnerving. But I'm just taking this into my crease and then blending it up a little bit higher. These mattes, again, they blend out really nicely, so even though they go down in one type of shade, you can really blend them and get a nice softness to the edges without necessarily needing to go in with a lighter shade. But you do your makeup how you do. So I'm then going to go ahead and switch my focus a little bit to a deeper shade. My brushes are in desperate need of washing. Like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how few brushes I have to work with here. Okay, so I am then going to go into Engulf, which is this really, really deep plum shade there. I don't even think that's plum. I think I don't know what colors are supposed to be called. My kids ask me all the time, Mommy, if you put blue and purple together, what color does that make? And they think the word blurple is hilarious. Personally, I do too, but I don't know if that's like a real color or if that's just a fun word to say. So they ask me all the time. Although my favorite, probably no surprise to anyone, is chartreuse. I love the name, I love the color, everything about it is just absolutely wonderful, but I don't know what colors are supposed to be called. Half the time I look them up on the internet and all it does is tell me like the sort of number value, if that makes sense. If you've ever done any sort of color grading or editing, you know that every color has a set of numbers and letters that is assigned to it. And so I'm like, okay, that's nice, but that doesn't help me. I need to know what it's actually called because my kids, sweetly enough, think I know everything. I do not. All right, so this is going on again really, really nicely. It looks a lot deeper in the pan than it does in real life, which again is nice because especially with deeper tones, it can be a bit intimidating to dip in and be like, okay, now what? But these are applying really nicely. I have absolutely no patchiness. Even though this is not a brush I would typically use for this, it's working really well, and that's nice. Okay, I am going to work a little bit on the lower lash line. I have this Sigma brush from the Samantha collection, and I'm going to start with Clouded, which is that first sort of grayish lavender shade, and just take it right on the lower lash line here, just to give some base and foundation. That is not easy to do while speaking and trying to make sure I am somewhat within the camera. I'm very, very out of practice. But my word of the year is consistency, so we are going to push through. And even if it is cringe and nobody watches it, I'm still going to do it because that is how we get better. And consistency helps us to get better as well. So I'm just connecting, still working with that Clouded shade, just connecting to make one solid shape here in the direction I want. I naturally have hooded and downturned eyes, so I have to be really careful at the outer edges. Otherwise, it can just pull my whole face down. And especially as I'm getting older, gravity's doing quite enough of that as it is. Thank you very much. So I always try to be very careful with my eyeshadow to try to prevent that as much as possible. I am going to take that same brush and go into just a little bit of Engulf and sort of blend those shades together to connect the lower lash line to the upper lash line, the upper part of the lid. And I am going to blend just a tiny bit there into the corner. Sorry, I know I'm off to the corner, and I apologize for that. Okay, we're gonna leave it there for the minute, and we are going to go in with our NYX glitter primer right after we get bombarded by my children. All right, children temporarily placated, and that means we are gonna go in and start working with some shimmers. I'm going to take this shade right here on the outer sort of V portion, and then this shade right here along the main part of the lid. The first shade is called Drift, and then the lighter shade is called Dream State. I am, however, gonna go in with my NYX glitter primer. I love this stuff. I use it with every single makeup look that I do. I did want to also mention that thus far, I have not had any fallout with those mattes, which is really, really nice, especially when you've already done your face makeup. Like I have here, I do have my base on, and then I went as far as my bronzer and blush since there's a highlighter. And we're going to take my trusty M210 from Morphe, pick up some of that drift shade, and then take it along this outer portion. It is a beautiful sort of gunmetal gray with a decidedly purple lean to it. And I really like it. That is so, so pretty. And then I'm gonna just flip over the brush and then go into Dream State, which is silver, but I have a feeling it's gonna have kind of a lilac sort of tinge to it. At least that's how it looks in the pan. And we're going to just sort of work back and forth between these two shades until we get it to the sort of intensity that we're looking for, as well as the blend. I will say that this silver is more translucent than I was anticipating, so I am gonna have to build it up a good bit in order for it to have the effect that I wanted. Now, that is my fault because I have not swatched this palette at all. I just pulled it out of the box and started applying it directly to my eyes. So I didn't exactly know what to expect from the shade. It's very pretty, but I have a feeling it's probably intended as a little bit more of a topper shade versus a full-on lid shade like I'm using it here. But that said, it's still absolutely gorgeous. Just going back into Drift a little bit and using it to give myself a nice gradient here on the lid. And bring those shades together to get to the point that it looks the way that I had sort of envisioned it when I pulled this palette out of the box. All right, that looks nice. That looks really nice. And I love that this is a nice, deep sort of smoky look without being too overpowering. You know, in all of the time that we have known each other, I have always said that black is for me the most intimidating eyeshadow color imaginable. And so anytime you've got super deep shades, because my skin itself is so pale, I can wash myself out really, really easily. And that is one of the reasons that I'm always so nervous to go in with really dark shades. And so it's always really nice to find a palette that lets me go nice and dark and smoky and vampy and just all of those beautiful things without going too far. And when it's easy, I don't have to spend forever, you know, trying to blend everything out and trying really hard to make sure I don't pick up too much. It's so user friendly. And I love that because at the end of the day, I am no pro. I don't know what I'm doing. Almost everything I've learned about makeup, I've learned either from theater or from the internet. So I like it when something is easy to work with, but still gives you incredible results. So just like I did on the other eye, I'm just going back and forth between Drift and Dream State to have them looking as similar to one another as I can. And then pull those together. I'm really, really happy with how this is looking for sure. All right, take just a little bit more of Drift. Re-intensify this outer corner. And that looks fabulous. Oh, I'm so happy with how that came out. Okay, I feel like though, I need to do something a little bit more, I kind of want to do something fun on the lower lash line, like maybe take a bit of Tranquil, this shade right here, and run it along the inner part of the lower lash line and maybe a little bit into the inner corner. I don't know. I'm afraid I'm going to take it and I'm just going to get a little too ambitious. Fly a little bit too close to the sun and crash and burn, and I'm a little nervous of that. All right, we're going in slow, steady steps. Let me get a hand mirror because I gotta get up close and personal. All right, let's see. All right, this shade is a bit flakier. Maybe it's just the brush though, honestly, because this is a really, really stiff brush. So I do have a little bit of fallout with Tranquil, but I think it is more brush and user error than anything else, because I didn't have any fallout with the first two glimmer shades. It's just this one, and I think honestly it's just the brush. But I just wanted to do another, oh boyo. I'm not sure you can tell, but I can see it, and I think it's really, really freaking stunning. Just go ahead and take a little brush, wipe away a little bit of that fallout, and it's gone. And like I said, none of the other shades had any fallout that I could really discern, so I'm pretty sure it was just my error and not the fault of the eyeshadow. But this is what we're looking like. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some eyeliner and some mascara, and then we'll check out the rest of the goodies in this box. All right, so the eyes are absolutely beautiful, and I am so happy with them. Just to let you know what I did, I went in with a little bit of my Physicians Formula liquid liner to give myself just a teeny tiny little wing. I added to the lower lash line Night of Creation from Kaleidos. Oof. Do not sleep on these. They are amazing. They're so pretty. And this purple ties in so nicely, not just with the actual lid, but that little bit of the brighter, more pinky purple that we put in the inner lash line. It's just beautiful. So, so happy with it. And then for mascara, my Amicole mascara that I am currently working on in the one and only project pan that I'm doing this year. So let's go ahead and jump back into this box here, and let's pull out the highlighters, which I am so stinking excited for. The kind of cohesiveness of this collection runs through everything. So this is the highlighter palette, and I don't think there are any blushes in here. At least I hope not, since I already put blush on. But again, this is what the packaging looks like, the same cardboard packaging. And then these are the 3 shades of highlighter. Ooh, Days might be just a little bit of like a blush topper, but it doesn't seem like any of these are kind of pink enough to actually stand for blushes. Oh, these are so, so nice. So these are what the shades look like right here. And then let me put them along the back of my hand. I love their formula for cheek. Hopefully you can see all of those. I don't have my ring light on because it's a beautiful sunny day where I am. So yeah, very, very, very happy about that. Dropped my towel somewhere, which I'm not happy about. I think because, and I'll try to insert a picture of these swatches that give a much better representation of the shade variation, because again, I don't think you can really see a difference in, why am I doing that right now? I don't think you can see a difference in the shades that I just held up to the camera, but I can see a pretty substantial difference right here. And the 3 shades, you have Days, which is the pinkest. You've got Solace, which is in the center, and Wish, which is on the other end. Wish is a lot more golden, whereas Days is very, very pink. So I'm gonna go with Solace in the middle. Solace, something like that. And that is more of a sort of combination of the two. And we're gonna go ahead and apply that to the high points of the cheek. Try not to go in too aggressively here. That's pretty. Can you see it? I love this highlighter brush from What's Up Beauty. It looks huge like it would cause a big problem. But honestly, the way that it picks up product and diffuses it out so nicely means that I get a really even highlight without it being chunky or stripy in most cases. I really, really enjoy it. All right, put just a little bit more of Solace on there. See, it's not too aggressive. It's nice and shiny without being, you know, like 2008 bling. And that's that little bit on the nose. That's really pretty. I think I am going to take a little bit of Days on just a little bitty brush and put that in the inner corner. I think that would look really nice. Even though I've already got a shade in there, I think it'll add really nicely to it. And then I'm also going to take just a little bit and do the brow bones, because why not? I haven't been doing that lately, and I remember really liking it back when I did it all the time. So add just a little bit there. That is very pretty. Okay, on to the last portion of this box, and that is the lip products. There are 4 bullet lipsticks in here. And I genuinely do not remember what these look like. I feel like I remember them maybe being a little bit more on the neutral side, but we'll have to just see. So these are what the shade names are on the top. We have Dreamer, Cloudland, Vision, and Z, like sleeping. All right, so let me open all of these up and swatch them, and then we'll do some lip swatches and see what we think. Okay, so let's go with the pros. The pros on these lipsticks is that they are very creamy and apply really evenly and really nicely. I really have enjoyed the formula of these swatches, and I think the colors are really fun and interesting. Now, that being said, this is not an everyday shade for me, but it doesn't wash me out as badly as I was afraid that it would when it was in the tube. It is a beautiful deep purple, but there's just a slight warmth and a slight pinkiness to it that keeps me from looking like I am no longer with us. So I do like these a lot. Are they gonna be everyday staples? No, probably not, but I do think that they will have a place in my collection, and they will get more use than just a few swatches that I show you guys. It's so comfortable. I mean, even for being a deeper, quite pigmented lipstick, it doesn't feel like it is going to move around a ton. I didn't have any trouble with it being on my teeth or anything, and it feels really comfortable. It wasn't really draggy or anything. I like them, which is so funny because these are not shades that I think I would have picked out for myself. But that is kind of the fun of picking up collections, is that you end up with things that you may not have purchased for yourself, but that you find that you really like. Again, this is not going to be an everyday lip look for me, but it is one that I'm probably going to come back to at least a few times, which is very, very exciting. So that is everything that came in the Dreamer collection from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I am really, really stoked. I've had a few different collections from them, and I've loved them all. I think I'm gonna get so much use out of this one, and I dare say this one might be my favorite. You know that I love purples, and I think cooler tones are coming back in, but this highlighting palette, I don't know where I put it, it's right here. I'm so stoked for this. I am so stoked for this. I am thrilled to have it, and I know that I'll continue to use it. Again, it doesn't look too over the top, which is nice. I do think that with a more dense brush, you could apply it much more heavily and get a whole lot more shine to it. But this is personally how I prefer to wear highlighter. It didn't emphasize any of the texture on my skin, and it doesn't look like a crazy stripe, whether you're looking at me straight on or from the side. I'm really, really happy with it. Again, this eye look is just everything for me right now, and the lipsticks are comfortable and nice. So let me know, did you pick up this collection, and is this something that is on your radar? What is your favorite Unearthly Cosmetics purchase that you have made, and are you gonna try out the brand this year if you haven't already? I wanna know all of those things. I love talking with you guys down in the comments. So please make sure to send some love. And if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing before you leave. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.